Hello again. This is Joe Azizalahov, the author of the book Metaphysical Maxims, Enlightenment Through Meditation and Morals. I believe morals is 50% of enlightenment, and 50% is being, truth, freedom, love, God, Spirit, Holy Spirit, so forth. We discussed buffers before, which are these difficulties in which we find the blockages. I would have to say, in continuing briefly that discussion, that the modern youth today are, many of them are quite unblocked. I want to add that not everybody is blocked. If you have parents who mirrored you, who listened to you, who were empathic to you, who attended to you, made time for you, and were open to you, and actually heard you and listened to you, were able to actively listen, you may have minimal defense mechanisms or buffers that would be hindrances, and you may not even need many of the shocks that I mentioned, which were evolved out of, I said, a combination of psychotherapy as well as Gurdjieff and Ouspensky and others, the cults and so forth. So, assuming that we are all able to sit and relax and rest, and we can sit for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Try your best. Close your eyes, sit erect, watch your breathing, and just let it all go by. Just let it all go. If you close your eyes, just try to enjoy the blackness that you see. And don't worry if you find yourself going off into thoughts and feelings and pictures and so forth, a stream of consciousness. Don't let that hinder you. Keep at it. Keep at it. I want to recommend a few other techniques that I've developed. One is cloud gazing. I basically found that I made great headway with just looking up at the beautiful cloud structures. They are just gorgeous, and they're translucent in the sense that they are basically, they're almost transparent. And what's nice about it is you can look and it doesn't strain the mind too much. Remember, we don't want to strain the mind. We just want to look up and sort of like gaze, or just try to just experience being, or just be there comfortably, and without, just relax. And I find that clouds and cloud gazing was very helpful to me, even sky gazing. Other methodologies that I use, you can actually meditate anywhere, anytime, any place. It's just a matter of stopping the machine, and just being there comfortably and just relaxing, basically. And you could do this while waiting online. You could do this in waiting rooms. Nobody minds if you close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Just relax. I used to, at work, when I had the periods of doldrums where there were very few customers, I would just stand there like a statue where I was working and just gaze at the ceiling in a distant object on the ceiling. And in fact, they sometimes twice people walked by and said, "Is he a statue?" Because I was just sort of like gazing, and I think that so you could do that anywhere where you have moments of leave taking, even at work. If you're not, if no one is really, if you could just, if nothing is really happening, and you could take these little times of to go into being when you're at work. So, in addition, I find that even looking at plants, I learned this really from my mother-in-law, who's an 80-year-old Chinese woman, who I noticed that she used to look at green plants, the leaves on plants. Now, she's not a meditator per se, but it was very interesting, and I asked her why it was that she was looking at these plants. She would just stand outside the house, and we had a big, like a shrub with quite big green leaves, all green leaves. And she was just looking at these green leaves. And she was there for quite some time just looking and relaxing. And she said that in China they believe that green was very restful in leaves, because green is in the middle of the spectrum. You know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. So green is in the center, and it's a very, very restful, perhaps the most restful color on the eyes. So things that would be restful on the eyes would be, as I say, the clouds in particular is really one of my favorites. I mean, I can just go into the clouds and just go out there until somebody like hits me on the shoulder, and then I have to go back, back down into the earth. So I think that just remember that there are many other ways to meditate besides simply closing your eyes or peering off your nose, or having your eyes look downward, or gazing at a candle. That there are many other ways to meditate, in many other anywhere, in coffee shops, even while walking you can meditate. So we don't really have to limit ourselves to the classical methodologies of meditating, which would be in the seated position with the eyes closed. So there's also, you could look way out in the distance, which is also very helpful as you're walking. You could just concentrate out on a distant object. I used to find that when I took my walks, I was able to concentrate on, for example, a stop sign, which is very interesting because it's telling me to stop, in other words, stop the machine. And so basically that, as I was getting closer to it, I would affix onto, there was actually another stop sign another 200 yards down, and I would use that as a focus point. So bear that in mind. And another thing, one last thing I want to mention in this talk, basking in the sun. Out here on the Jersey Shore, we're sun worshippers, and I don't think that people who go to the beach realize that when they're in the sun, and the sun is beating down on their bodies, they're actually, in a way, they may not be aware of it, but they're actually meditating in a way. Because when that sun comes down on your face, that beautiful, warm sun, you are able to be there quite comfortably. You may not be aware that you're being there, but you can be there quite comfortably for quite prolonged periods without too many things going through your mind. The sun can do that. You just close your eyes and bask in the sun. You can bask in the sun on the beach, and you can bask in the sun on a park bench, which I used to do quite a lot. So just remember these other methodologies, and hopefully that will help you in your meditation. Thanks for watching.